The Millionaire Mindset, 7 Laws of Financial Psychology. Written and published by Mindset Academy Audiobook. Part 1. Wealth begins in the mind, not the bank account. Most people believe money is earned with effort. Some believe it's earned with intelligence. Others believe it's earned with luck. All three are incomplete. Money is attracted, multiplied, protected, and sustained by mindset before mechanics. Long before income changes, thinking changes. Long before wealth appears, psychology shifts. This is the part most people never understand. Why two people with the same income end up in opposite financial realities. Look closely at the world. You'll see people earning modest incomes who quietly build wealth over time. And you'll see people earning impressive incomes who remain permanently stressed, broke, or dependent on the next paycheck. The difference is not effort. It's not intelligence. It's not opportunity. It's how they think about money when no one is watching. One person sees money as something to consume. Another sees it as something to deploy. One sees spending as relief. Another sees patience as power. One reacts emotionally. Another thinks strategically. That difference compounds faster than any investment. Money is neutral. Psychology is not. Money itself has no personality. It does not reward morality. It does not punish laziness. It does not respond to wishes or emotions. Money responds to behavior, and behavior is governed by belief. If you believe, money is scarce, you rush decisions. Money is stressful, you avoid managing it. Money disappears, you spend defensively. Money defines worth, you overspend to feel valued. These beliefs quietly dictate outcomes. Wealthy individuals don't have fewer emotions around money, they have better control over them. The first shift, from survival thinking to ownership thinking. Most people live in survival mode financially. Survival thinking sounds like, I just need to get through this month. I'll start saving when I earn more. This is just how things are. Money always leaves. Survival thinking keeps you reactive. Reactive people can't compound wealth. Ownership thinking is different. How does this decision affect my future? What system can I build here? How do I keep money working after it arrives? What am I repeating without realizing it? The millionaire mindset begins the moment survival thinking ends. Why emotional control is the real financial skill. Most financial mistakes are not math errors. They are emotional reactions. People don't go broke because they don't understand numbers. They go broke because they spend to soothe stress. They invest out of fear or excitement. They avoid decisions because of discomfort. They chase status instead of stability. Wealthy individuals experience the same emotions, but they delay action until emotion passes. That delay is leverage. Delayed gratification isn't about deprivation, it's about power. Many people misunderstand delayed gratification. They think it means living poorly, denying enjoyment, sacrificing happiness. That's not what it is. Delayed gratification is choosing permanent freedom over temporary pleasure. It's not saying no forever. It's saying not yet with intention. Every financially disciplined decision sends a signal to the mind. I control money. Money does not control me. That identity compounds faster than interest. The hidden cost of instant rewards. Modern systems are designed to destroy wealth psychology. Buy now, pay later. One-click spending. Constant comparison. Subscription lifestyles. Social validation through consumption. These systems train impatience. Impatience is the enemy of wealth. The millionaire mindset is trained, not inherited, and it is trained by resisting systems designed to keep you reactive. Why wealth is built quietly at first. In the early stages, wealth is fragile. Talking too much creates pressure. Showing too much creates comparison. Explaining too much creates doubt. This is why many wealthy individuals move quietly, keep plans private, avoid public validation, let results speak later. Psychological safety allows discipline to grow. Noise interrupts focus. Silence strengthens consistency. Identity comes before income. Here's a truth most people miss. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your identity. If your identity is someone who struggles with money, someone who never gets ahead, someone who spends to cope, someone who can't hold on to wealth, your behavior will always align with that identity, even unconsciously. Millionaire thinking begins when identity shifts to I am someone who manages money intentionally. I think long-term. I delay emotion-driven decisions. I build systems, not excuses. Income follows identity, not the other way around. The first law of financial psychology, introduced, not named yet. Before you ever learn strategies, budgets, or investments, one principle must be absorbed. Money multiplies in the hands of those who respect time, control emotion, and think in systems. This isn't theory. It's observable reality. Those who master their inner financial behavior always outperform those chasing external tactics. Why this book focuses on laws, not tricks. Tricks stop working when conditions change. Laws work regardless of environment. Economic cycles shift. Markets rise and fall. Technology changes. But financial psychology remains constant. That's why this book focuses on how wealthy minds interpret risk, how they respond to uncertainty, how they detach emotion from money, how they build habits that compound automatically. This is not motivation. This is conditioning. What this first part is meant to do. This part is not meant to inspire excitement. It's meant to reframe your relationship with money at the root level. Before tactics come discipline. Before discipline comes identity. Before identity comes awareness. You are now aware that money behavior is psychological. Wealth is built quietly. Emotional control precedes financial growth. Identity shapes income. Everything from here builds on this foundation. Part 2, Law 1. Money obeys structure, not desire. Wanting money has never made anyone wealthy. Needing money has never kept anyone rich. Money does not respond to emotion. It responds to structure. This is the first law of financial psychology, and it's where most people fail before they even begin. Why desire is a weak financial strategy. Many people deeply want financial freedom. They think about it often. They imagine it vividly. And yet, nothing changes. Why? Because desire is emotional, and emotion is unstable. Desire fluctuates with mood. Motivation fades under stress. Willpower collapses under pressure. Wealth is not built by intensity. It is built by repeatable structure. Millionaires don't rely on how they feel about money. They rely on systems that function even when they feel nothing at all. The difference between earners and builders. There is a psychological divide between people who earn money and people who build wealth. Earners think, how much can I make? How hard do I need to work? How do I increase income? Builders think, where does my money go automatically? What happens to money after I receive it? What systems are running without my attention? Both may earn the same amount. Only one compounds. Why structure protects you from yourself. The biggest threat to your money is not the economy. It's not inflation. It's not opportunity. It's you on an emotional day. Stress spending. Celebration spending. Fear-based decisions. Impulse generosity. Avoidance. Structure removes decision-making from moments of weakness. When systems are in place, you don't negotiate with temptation. You don't rely on discipline alone. You don't reinvent the process each month. The wealthy automate good behavior and make bad behavior inconvenient. Millionaire minds design before they desire. Before money arrives, structure is already waiting. This is subtle but critical. Most people earn first, decide later, spend emotionally, save whatever is left, usually nothing. Millionaire thinkers reverse the order. Structure first. Allocation decided in advance. Spending becomes secondary. Wealth grows automatically. They don't ask, "Can I afford this?" They ask, "Does this align with my system?" Why budgeting fails for most people. Traditional budgeting often fails because it depends on constant restraint. Restraint is exhausting. Wealthy individuals don't micromanage every decision. They design broad systems that guide behavior naturally. Instead of controlling every dollar, they control percentages, flow, priority. Structure simplifies. Simplicity sustains. The psychology of financial default settings. Your financial life already has default settings. How quickly you spend. How much you save. Whether you invest or avoid. How you react to extra money. If you don't consciously design defaults, your environment designs them for you. Subscriptions, lifestyle creep, social pressure, convenience spending. Millionaires intentionally choose defaults that favor long-term growth, delayed reward, automatic accumulation. This is not discipline. It's design. Why income alone never creates wealth. Income is a tool. Structure determines how the tool is used. Without structure, more income increases stress. More income increases spending. More income increases complexity. This is why many high earners feel trapped. With structure, even modest income compounds. Progress becomes predictable. Financial anxiety decreases. The millionaire mindset understands that money kept is more powerful than money earned. Emotion is the tax the undisciplined pay. Every emotional decision carries a hidden cost. Buying to feel better, spending to belong, giving to avoid guilt, investing out of excitement. These decisions feel small in the moment. Over time, they become expensive. Structure eliminates emotional taxation. When rules are set in advance, decisions become neutral. Feelings don't dictate outcomes. Consistency replaces intensity. This is why wealthy people appear calm around money. Their systems absorb emotional volatility. The first law in plain terms. Here is Law 1 without complexity. Money grows where structure exists. Money leaks where emotion leads. No exceptions. No shortcuts. What this part is training you to see. This part is not about spreadsheets. It's about awareness. You are learning to notice where emotion overrides logic, where systems are missing, where money decisions are improvised. Once you see this, you can't unsee it. And once structure replaces improvisation, progress accelerates. A quiet shift is already happening. If you're listening carefully, something subtle is changing. You're no longer asking, "How do I make more money?" You're beginning to ask, "How do I control what happens after money arrives?" That question alone separates the wealthy from the perpetually restarting. Part 3, Law 2. Wealth flows toward self-control, not self-confidence. Confidence feels powerful. Self-control is powerful. This distinction quietly determines who builds wealth and who only talks about it. Why confidence often leads to financial mistakes. Confidence creates motion. Self-control creates direction. Many people trust confidence too much. They believe, "I'll figure it out later. I can handle it. I deserve this. I'll make it back." Confidence encourages action. But without restraint, action becomes leakage. This is why confident earners often struggle to accumulate wealth. They act quickly, spend boldly, and assume recovery will come later. Wealth doesn't reward boldness alone. It rewards restraint paired with patience. The quiet superpower of self-control. Self-control is rarely dramatic. It looks like not reacting to sudden opportunity, pausing before spending emotionally, sitting with discomfort instead of escaping it, saying no when no one is watching. These moments don't feel powerful in the moment, but over time they become decisive. Wealth grows in the spaces where impulse is resisted. Why willpower is not enough. Relying on willpower alone is a losing strategy. Willpower, is depleted by stress, weakens under fatigue, disappears during emotional highs or lows. Millionaire thinkers understand this. They don't rely on strength, they reduce temptation. They create friction around spending, remove constant exposure to temptation, delay decisions that trigger emotion. Self-control is engineered, not forced. Impulse is the silent wealth killer. Impulse spending is rarely about the object. It's about relief, status, identity, escape. Impulse investing is no different. It's driven by fear of missing out, overconfidence, excitement, social influence. Self-control interrupts these cycles. The wealthy don't suppress desire. They delay action until desire loses its authority. The psychology of waiting. Waiting feels passive. It isn't. Waiting is an active decision to remain in control. In finance, waiting allows information to emerge, emotion to settle, better options to appear. Most financial losses happen because action was taken too soon, not too late. Why rich people appear boring with money. From the outside, disciplined financial behavior looks dull. No dramatic moves, no emotional reactions, no constant upgrading. But boredom is a sign of control. The wealthy prefer predictable systems over exciting outcomes. They know excitement is expensive. Self-control creates optionality. Optionality is the ability to choose when to act, when to wait, when to walk away. People without self-control lose optionality quickly. They become trapped by obligations, debt, and emotional decisions. Those with self-control maintain freedom. Freedom compounds faster than income. Confidence without control creates fragile wealth. Confidence builds fast. Self-control builds slow. Fast wealth is fragile. Slow wealth is durable. This is why many people experience financial peaks followed by collapse. They trusted confidence without discipline. The second law, clearly stated. Money stays with those who can delay themselves. Money leaves those who act on impulse, regardless of income. This law is psychological, not financial. What this part is rewiring. This part is training a new reflex. Not, can I do this? But, do I need to do this now? That pause changes everything. Part 4, Law 3. Money stays where attention is consistent. Money does not disappear randomly. It leaks from places that are ignored. This law explains why some people feel like money vanishes, while others steadily grow wealth without dramatic effort. The difference is not intelligence. It is attention. Why neglect is more expensive than mistakes. Most people fear making financial mistakes. What actually hurts them more is not paying attention at all. Small leaks go unnoticed. Unused subscriptions, gradual lifestyle creep, passive overspending, missed opportunities. These aren't dramatic losses. They're quiet drains. Wealth rarely collapses in one moment. It erodes slowly through neglect. Attention is a form of control. Where attention goes, behavior follows. When you regularly observe something, you notice patterns. You catch inefficiencies early. You adjust before damage accumulates. This applies to health, relationships, and especially money. Wealthy individuals don't obsess over money. They consistently check in. Consistency beats intensity every time. Why set it and forget it is misunderstood. Automation is powerful, but only when paired with awareness. Many people misunderstand this idea. They automate everything and stop paying attention completely. This leads to poor allocations, outdated strategies, missed growth, false security. The millionaire mindset uses automation for execution and attention for direction. The psychology of financial blind spot. Everyone has blind spots. Blind spots form when money becomes emotional. Numbers create anxiety. Avoidance feels safer than clarity. Ignoring money doesn't reduce stress. It delays it. Wealthy people train themselves to look calmly and regularly, even when it's uncomfortable. That habit alone creates advantage. Why simple tracking beats complex planning. Complex plans fail when they demand too much effort. Simple tracking wins because it's sustainable. It keeps awareness high. It highlights trends quickly. You don't need perfection. You need visibility. Attention transforms money from something abstract into something manageable. Money responds to awareness. This may sound subtle, but it's observable. When people start tracking spending, spending drops naturally. When investments are reviewed periodically, performance improves. When goals are revisited, progress accelerates. Awareness alters behavior without force. This is why attention is leverage. The difference between monitoring and micromanaging. Micromanaging creates stress. Monitoring creates clarity. The wealthy monitor flow, direction, alignment. They don't obsess over every fluctuation. They watch for trends and respond calmly. This emotional distance is critical. Why ignored money becomes uncontrolled money. What you don't look at controls you. Debt ignored grows louder. Spending ignored grows faster. Opportunities ignored pass silently. Attention prevents escalation. The millionaire mindset treats money like a living system, not something to be avoided or feared. The third law, clearly stated. Money stays where attention is steady. Money escapes where awareness fades. This law is boring. And that's why it works. What this part is training. This part isn't asking you to become obsessed. It's training a simple habit. Regular check-ins. Calm observation. No emotional drama. That alone separates people who feel in control from those who feel anxious. Part 5. Law 4. Wealth follows probabilities, not luck. Most people believe money comes from effort, luck, or timing. Millionaires know the truth. Money comes from understanding probabilities and creating systems that favor long-term outcomes. Luck is seductive. It feels like magic. It is fleeting. Probability is predictable. It compounds. It can be mastered. Why hope is dangerous. Hope without structure is dangerous. I hope I get a raise this year. I hope the stock goes up. I hope I win the deal. Hope is passive. It leaves wealth to chance. It causes anxiety. It delays action. Millionaires don't hope. They plan for probabilities. They ask, what are the likely outcomes? What moves can I make to increase success odds? How do I manage risk without emotion? Hope is replaced by calculated expectation. The margin of safety. Wealth is not just accumulation, it's protection. The invisible safety net is margin of safety. Diversified investment. Emergency funds. Conservative assumptions. Contingency plans. Without margin, luck is mistaken for skill. With margin, probabilities work in your favor consistently. The psychology of risk. Many people fear risk. Some people chase it blindly. Millionaires evaluate risk differently. They separate emotion from calculation. They assess long-term consequences, not short-term excitement. They avoid high-risk moves without return-aligned reward. This is a mindset. It is invisible but foundational. Why systems outperform effort. Effort alone is inefficient. Systems convert repeated actions into compounding result. Savings plans, automatic investments, rules for spending, business processes. Systems rely on probability, not individual heroic. Systems remove emotion. Systems multiply outcomes quietly over time. Decision-making as a probability game. Every financial decision involves uncertainty. Most people react impulsively to uncertainty. Millionaires calculate likelihoods. They consider, if this happens, what is the result? What is the most probable outcome over time? Where can I optimize for maximum expected value? This is why slow, deliberate calculation beats fast, emotional reaction. Long-term thinking beats short-term wins. Humans are wired for instant gratification. Markets, relationships, and systems reward patience. Millionaire thinkers ask, what will compound over 5, 10, 20 years? Which decisions maximize expected return, not immediate satisfaction? The discipline to choose probability over impulse produces results that feel effortless to outsiders. The role of feedback loop. Feedback loops accelerate learning when attention is consistent. Review results, adjust methods. Notice trends, refine strategies. Eliminate repeated mistakes. Without feedback, probability cannot be optimized. Wealthy individuals treat every outcome as data, not judgment. The fourth law, clearly stated. Money follows predictable systems, not hope. Wealth grows where probabilities are understood and acted upon. This law is invisible because it manifests over time. It does not reward drama or immediate action. It rewards patience, calculation, and structure. What this part is training you to do. This part trains a mindset shift. Stop relying on luck. Stop acting impulsively. Start thinking in probabilities. Build systems. Act deliberately. Let compounding do the rest. Part 6, Law 5. Control your mind, control your money. Most financial advice focuses on what you do. Millionaires focus on what you think. Law 5 is simple. Your emotions, perceptions, and decisions dictate whether wealth grows or disappears. Control the mind, and money obeys. Lose control, and even abundance slips away. The silent enemy, emotional reactivity. Emotions aren't wrong, they're signals. But unchecked emotion is a silent drain on wealth. Examples: impulse buying after stress, overinvesting during excitement, panicked selling in fear, overspending to prove status. These decisions feel justified in the moment. Over time, they compound losses quietly but relentlessly. Wealthy people experience the same feelings, they just respond differently. Why perception shapes financial reality. People often think money is objective. It isn't. Perception drives decisions. Consider seeing money as a tool versus seeing money as security. Viewing debt as a trap versus seeing debt as leverage. Viewing risk as fear versus viewing risk as calculated probability. The internal interpretation guides behavior. Change the lens, change the outcome. The power of mental anchoring. Anchors are reference points we carry unconsciously. Scarcity anchoring. I'll never have enough. Loss anchoring. I can't risk anything. Status anchoring. I must appear wealthy to be respected. Anchors shape choices even without awareness. Millionaire thinkers intentionally set positive anchors. Wealth is possible and expected. Risk is calculated, not feared. Delay is power, not deprivation. This mental alignment alters behavior and, over time, result. How the mind manages stress around money. Money is emotional because it represents security, freedom, status, identity. Untrained minds react. Avoidance, impulse, rationalization. The wealthy train their minds to observe without overreacting. They separate fact from feeling. They decide based on structure, not panic. Why discipline is psychological, not mechanical. Most people think discipline is mechanical. Stick to a budget. Save 20%. Invest monthly. Those are rules, not discipline. True discipline is psychological. Choosing to wait instead of reacting. Choosing to allocate instead of spending. Choosing long-term value instead of immediate reward. Without this mindset, even the best rules fail. Cognitive flexibility protects wealth. Life throws unexpected challenges. Market crashes, job loss, health emergencies, economic changes. Rigid thinking breaks systems. Flexible thinking adapt. Flexible thinkers see alternatives, absorb shocks, and continue forward without panic. Wealth grows for those who adapt mentally, not those who only plan mechanically. Why control feels invisible but is most powerful. Control is rarely visible to others. You don't broadcast restraint. You don't celebrate avoiding mistakes. You quietly let compounding work. Yet the invisible control of mind and emotion produces results that outsiders perceive as luck or talent. It's not luck. It's applied psychology. The fifth law, clearly stated. Wealth follows where the mind is disciplined, perceptive, and flexible. Chaos grows where emotions dominate decisions. This law is subtle but relentless. Small mental lapses compound over years faster than mistakes in arithmetic. What this part is training you to do. This part trains you to observe emotional impulses without acting immediately. Reframe perception from scarcity to possibility. Separate fact from feeling in financial decisions. Build mental resilience to preserve wealth under stress. Control the mind, and the rest of the financial system becomes easier to manage. Part 7, Law 6. Protect before you pursue. Most people think wealth grows by chasing opportunity. Millionaires know something different. Wealth multiplies when preservation precedes pursuit. Before seeking more, they ensure what they already have is secure, optimized, and leveraged. Why chasing without protection is risky. Ambition is celebrated. Effort is applauded. Opportunities are enticing. Yet chasing without protection often produces lost capital, overextension, stress and anxiety, missed leverage. Those who prioritize acquisition over preservation often find themselves constantly starting over. The invisible advantage of a protective mindset. Millionaires see money as a living system. Capital must be guarded. Systems must be maintained. Risk must be calculated. Protection is proactive, not reactive. It's subtle, quiet, and strategic. This mindset ensures longevity before growth. The psychology of loss aversion. Humans naturally fear loss more than they value gain. Most people ignore this tendency, which results in panic selling, over-leveraging, short-term decisions under stress. The wealthy intentionally harness loss aversion. They anticipate potential setback. They set systems to minimize impact. They decide calmly instead of reacting. This creates asymmetry, outcomes favoring them consistently over time. Building financial shields. Protection is multi-layered. Emergency reserves, money set aside to absorb shock. Diversification is spreading risk across assets, income, and opportunities. Insurance, guarding against extreme events. Legal and tax structures, ensuring efficiency and minimizing exposure. These are invisible advantages. They don't impress the public but compound power silently. Why preservation enables aggressive opportunity. Paradoxically, protecting wealth increases the ability to pursue big moves. You can invest in higher-risk opportunities without fear. You can act decisively during market swings. You can leverage systems already in place for multiplier effect. Protection is not limitation. It is freedom to act without destroying what already exists. The role of patience in protection. Protection requires patience. Not rushing to invest or spend. Waiting for the right structures before expansion. Avoiding impulsive decisions under excitement. Patience builds resilience. Resilience compounds faster than temporary gains. Why preservation beats over ambition. Many aspiring millionaires burn through wealth pursuing the next opportunity. Changing careers without safety net. Scaling businesses too fast. Risking capital without preparation. Millionaires do the opposite. They preserve first. They evaluate opportunity second. They only expand when the system is ready. This is why their growth is exponential rather than episodic. The sixth law, clearly stated. Money multiplies when protected before pursuit. Neglecting preservation makes even high earnings temporary. This law emphasizes foresight over reaction, discipline over desire, and strategy over impulse. What this part is training you to do. This part teaches you to see wealth as fragile if ignored. Build protective systems before chasing growth. Use preservation as leverage to expand confidently. Think strategically rather than emotionally. The mindset is simple. Secure first, then multiply. It's invisible but absolutely foundational. Part 8, Law 7. Compound influence trumps income. Many people chase higher income thinking it will automatically produce wealth. Millionaires know the truth. Money compounds not just through income, but through influence, leverage, and systems. This final law is the crown of financial psychology. Understanding it separates those who remain wealthy from those who plateau. Why income alone isn't enough. High income is impressive on paper. Yet many high earners struggle financially. Lifestyle scales faster than income. Time and effort are limited resources. Opportunities are reactive, not leveraged. Wealth grows when income is amplified by influence and leverage, not by brute effort. The psychology of leverage. Leverage is using resources, systems, or influence to multiply outcomes. Money leveraged wisely produces exponential growth. Time leveraged wisely produces more value than effort alone. Relationships leveraged wisely open doors invisible to outsiders. The wealthy understand that compounding is not just for money, it's for everything that interacts with money. Influence multiplies opportunity. Influence is invisible yet powerful. It allows access to deals others cannot see. It attracts collaborators who increase impact. It shifts environments to favor growth. Those who underestimate influence often work harder for less. Those who cultivate influence quietly expand their capacity without additional effort. Systems compound faster than effort. Effort has limits. Systems don't. A small automated process can grow wealth far faster than repeated labor. Investment rules that automatically deploy capital. Business operations that function without oversight. Savings and expense structures that preserve and allocate consistently. Systems are the invisible backbone of wealth. The psychology of exponential growth. Most people underestimate exponential effects because humans think linearly. Saving $500 a month grows quietly over decade. Relationships nurtured consistently produce compounding trust. Reputation cultivated steadily creates opportunities without solicitation. The millionaire mindset leverages time, attention, and structure to multiply results silently. Why patience is a force multiplier. All compounding requires patience. Early actions feel invisible. Results lag behind effort. Discipline feels slow. Yet the patient, consistent thinker gains advantage over those chasing instant returns. Wealth compounds in silence, unnoticed, until it becomes undeniable. The invisible habit of the wealthy. The wealthy habitually do things invisible to outsiders. They track metrics without announcing them. They save and invest quietly. They build connections intentionally without showmanship. They refine systems while others chase spectacle. This invisibility is not secrecy. It's strategic preservation and amplification. The seventh law, clearly stated. Wealth grows fastest where influence, systems, and consistent action compound. Income alone is fleeting. Compounding influence and disciplined structure are permanent. What this part is training you to do. This law trains you to think beyond immediate income. Build influence as a multiplier. Establish compounding systems in finance and life. Exercise patience to let invisible processes mature. When implemented, this law ensures that wealth is no longer about working harder, it's about thinking broader, acting smarter, and letting your systems grow quietly but powerfully. Part 9, Integrating the 7 Laws. The Psychology of Lasting Wealth. By now, you've learned 7 core laws of financial psychology. Money obeys structure, not desire. Wealth flows toward self-control, not self-confidence. Money stays where attention is consistent. Wealth follows probabilities, not luck. Control your mind, control your money. Protect before you pursue. Compound influence trumps income. Individually, each law provides insight. Together, they form a complete blueprint, a mental framework for building and sustaining wealth quietly, strategically, and effectively. Why integration is critical. Knowledge alone is insufficient. Many people understand rules superficially. They save but lack patience. They invest but fail to protect. They control spending but chase excitement. Without integration, behavior is inconsistent. Wealth remains fragile. The Millionaire Mindset unifies these laws into a coherent daily practice, making wealth predictable, resilient, and compounding. The invisible architecture of financial psychology. Think of these laws as invisible pillars. Structure is the foundation. Self-control is the walls. Attention is the beams. Probability thinking is the blueprint. Mind control is the plumbing. Protection is the roof. Compound influence is the insulation and long-term reinforcement. Neglect one pillar, and the structure weakens. Master all, and the building endures storms unnoticed. Daily application of the 7 laws. Theory without practice is meaningless. Here's how the laws work in daily life. Structure. Automate savings and investments. Allocate percentages, not leftover money. Self-control. Delay gratification. Pause before spending. Separate emotion from decisions. Attention. Review financial status regularly. Track habits quietly. Notice leak. Probabilities. Evaluate decisions based on risk versus reward, not hope. Plan for outcomes. Mind control. Observe impulses. Anchor perceptions positively. Maintain cognitive flexibility. Protection. Preserve capital. Maintain emergency reserves. Avoid unnecessary risk. Compound influence. Build relationships, systems, and leverage quietly. Multiply effects over time. Applied consistently, these steps shift identity from someone reactive to someone strategically in control. The psychological advantage of invisible wealth. Most people think wealth is measured externally. Money, cars, houses, status. Millionaires measure wealth internally. Control over emotions. Freedom from reactive behavior. Systems that function without constant oversight. Influence that multiplies effort silently. This internal advantage ensures wealth survives external chaos. It is invisible, but it compounds faster than visibility or showmanship. Overcoming common psychological barriers. Even after understanding the laws, barriers remain. Impatience. Desire for immediate results undermines structure. Comparison. Social validation can disrupt discipline. Fear. Risk aversion can prevent opportunities. Overconfidence. Acting too soon without probability analysis creates losses. The integrated mindset neutralizes these barriers by making behavior habitual, automatic, and aligned with long-term principles rather than short-term impulses. The multiplier effect of mindset. Once integrated, the 7 laws produce a multiplier effect. Self-control ensures structure is maintained. Attention magnifies protection. Probability thinking amplifies decision-making. Compound influence accelerates returns beyond income. This is why wealthy individuals rarely rely on luck. They have created a system where results compound invisibly but powerfully. Why identity matters more than tactic. All of these laws ultimately shape identity. You become someone who thinks in systems. You become someone who delays gratification naturally. You become someone who protects, observes, and multiplies quietly. Identity drives behavior. Behavior drives result. Long before wealth appears in the bank, it exists in how you think and act consistently. Integrating mindset into action. To embed this into daily life. Morning reflection. Check systems, review goals, adjust plans. Midday awareness. Observe spending, decision-making, and emotional state. Evening review. Assess outcomes, note leaks, refine strategies. Consistency compounds. Action without reflection is wasted effort. Reflection without action is wasted potential. The invisible path to financial freedom. Visible wealth may impress others. Invisible wealth transforms life. Quiet discipline compounds result. Strategic patience ensures longevity. Controlled psychology produces decisions others cannot replicate. Leverage and influence amplify actions silently. Over time, the invisible practices of the millionaire mindset produce results far beyond what most imagine possible. Final integration statement. The millionaire mindset is not a formula you read once. It is a lifestyle you internalize. Structure governs flow. Control governs reaction. Attention governs stability. Probability governs expectation. Mind governs perception. Protection governs longevity. Influence governs multiplication. Apply these consistently. Over years, not months. Results will follow quietly, powerfully, and invisibly.